I know it's a mess in here, but I really just want to get this stuff done. On the last episode, the car was completely stripped down of the auto flex and paint. We put a little bit of Bondo here already. There's going to be a lot of spots on the bumper that I'm going to try to sand out once we get primer on it, but I really think I'm going to have to touch them up with a little bit of filler. But yeah, overall the car is pretty clean. I really wanted to try to build a booth in here because, you know, there's rusty beams up there and it's kind of dusty. It's still early in the spring, but I don't think there's going to be any bugs. We're just going to go with it. We're just going to do the primer tonight just to get something on the car. The rear bumper was really bad. You can see all these gouges and stuff. Like the rubber wheel looked like it burned through in a couple spots. This whole auto flex situation just got old really quick. Should just strip the whole car down to bare metal or something. Anyway, we're gonna get started with the primer. I guess come back tomorrow and sand it. So for the project, it's gonna be Tamco everything. We're gonna do a high build gray primer and then silver base and then the Grapeness Kandy concentrate into their Euro clear. You'll see it at the end of the video. If you don't want to watch the whole process, just fast forward to the end of it. I just want to see how this is done. I'm trying to explain it a little bit, I guess, sort of. Let's get started for real this time. So I was thinking about it, probably not getting this car done by this weekend, so we're going to do a couple test sprays. We're going to do the Kandy over the silver with flake underneath of the Kandy, silver with flake on top of the Kandy on just the black, and then we're going to do just flake on the black, and then put Kandy on top of that and see if it gives it a little more depth. But yeah, that's the plan, which sucks because I really wanted to get this thing done by next weekend, but it's just not going to happen. It's too cold, it's 2:36 and it's Sunday and I gotta go to work, and right now work is just taking all of my time. But this silver looks really cool. It's got a lot more pearl than I thought it would. Kind of wish I would have ordered the coarse. I was feeling sick when I ordered it, and I ordered the fine. So we're also going to see if this gives us a little more depth by putting a little bit of holographic flake on top of this. Pretty good with the metal flake underneath. I really like that effect. And then this is the flake on top. That's a really cool effect too. It might have been a little bit too much flake, maybe a little too glittery. I don't know. That is pretty cool though. And you can see over black, and then this is over the metal flake. You can see the flake underneath. That's a pretty cool effect too. But we're gonna let this dry overnight, come back tomorrow and see what it looks like. And we did silver just because I wanted to see what that silver looked like. Kind of looks like ingot silver. Ingot? There's almost thing to do in the back panel in silver. Maybe the flares. I don't know. We also sprayed the compressor because I can. Always wear gloves, especially when you got open wounds and stuff. We're supposed to spray this high build primer with a really big tip. I think it's a 2-3. I don't have a tip that big. We're gonna go ahead and reduce it a little bit so we can spray with a 1/8. We're gonna do a couple coats, that way we can do a thinner mix. We're gonna wear goggles and a respirator because safety first and stuff. This is the DTM HP 53-10. It's taking time. Long night last night. We are in primer. The primer covered a lot more than I thought it would, which is good. The hood looks pretty decent. Covered up the body filler that was on the hood. There was a couple spots on the bumper that I was worried about, and it covered most of them, but we are gonna have to throw a little bit of putty on a couple spots just to get this thing as nice as we can. I don't expect a concours finish or anything on this car, but yeah, the primer is definitely high build, which is cool. Might have to throw a little bit of filler there. We're gonna take a lot of this orange peel out too. You can see a couple spots on the louvers, a couple little pinholes. Throw a little bit of filler on those. I really wanted to try to spray tonight, but I think that I'm being a little too optimistic. The rear bumper was probably the most ravaged, and it's definitely gonna need some filler there. And yeah, you can see it. The ass of this car kind of looks like it has cellulite. I definitely gotta fill that. Really wish I would have bought a better primer gun before starting this, because we did have to thin it out a little bit with some reducer. I think I'm gonna try to walk around, hit the spots that are the worst with a little bit of putty, and then sand those down, and then sand the whole car down. Friday because it's Friday and I got off work and now we're early. Really need to tape up the entire car again because we got like flaky primer. I really don't want that going on the clear. I'm gonna reprep it and it's windy and stuff's blowing all over the place. So I'm gonna put a mask back on and try to be able to breathe. If you're painting your own car, maybe put paper like for the first foot or something and then do plastic, because paper doesn't seem to really flake off. It's just this plastic. So we are re-prepped and it's 9:44. I think I'm just gonna start. I got the heater running. It's a little coldish up here. It's like a 55-ish. I'm gonna go get the big heater in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this thing down in the meantime, because it's pretty dusty still. I blew it off and everything, but we're gonna wipe it down with our prep wipes. Usually I would build a booth. When I did the last Autoflex color, I did a whole booth in here, and when I did the Skyline, I did a booth. But there's not really any bugs out right now anyway. Hopefully no spiders start dropping from the ceiling. It also worries me that there's a bunch of rusty beams up there, but I haven't really noticed any rust falling. I kind of blew those off with the leaf blower. It's late and I'm tired and I just want to go home and get drunk and watch Moon Knight because I missed Wednesday's episode, but instead I'm just going to try to get this thing done. So how tired do I look? Do I look as tired as the Skyline ordeal? Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. So I wiped it down twice with the HR 398 Tamco final wipe and it's ready to go. Finally, I am so tired and it's 10:26. It's probably too late to start this, but I'm too far in, so I gotta keep going, I guess. I got a couple packs of crackers in case I get low sugar, and I got some summer shandies to drink to keep me hydrated. I hope this turns out good. This was way too much work for this to suck. I guess I could repaint it, but I don't want to redo this for at least another 2 years or something. Man, I'll be old by then, but whatever. Let's get started, I guess. I'm so tired, I just want to go home. Silver base is down. It almost looks chrome on camera. Looks pretty crazy. In person, it just kind of looks like a satin Ingo silver or ingot. I don't know how you even say the Ford color. This is the Slick Silver Fine base color from Tamco. Looks really good. But we're gonna throw a little bit of holographic on top of the silver anyway, just because I think it's gonna give it a little bit of depth. The metal flake is going to be from Did Spade. This is their Party Crasher 004. It's a smaller kind of flake. We're going to mix this up and some inner coat, put this on top of the silver and see what that looks like. Flake is down and there's flake everywhere in the garage now. It's a very subtle effect. I don't even know if it was worth it, and time is precious at this point. You can kind of see it on camera. I'm really hoping it pops in the sunlight. Like I said, it's subtle. I probably should have went with a slightly bigger flake, but was kind of on the fence about it anyway, so I figured I would just do like a smaller flake. It kind of seemed like it added a little bit of texture too in the inner coat. Probably because I was standing back just a little bit, trying to get it to fan out. Currently 228. I don't feel good. But because once you start painting, you kind of have to keep going. We're going to keep going. So now let's do the candy. The current state of things. The candy carrier from Tamco is supposed to be sprayed more like a clear. Between me not spraying right and there was some sort of contamination or something going on, there's a lot of texture in this because it's been a few days now. We can scuff this up and then spray the clear on it. I definitely want to do at least one more candy. You're really not supposed to sand candy. It could potentially like dull this out a bit. I think I have enough candy left to do 2 more coats. I mean, you can just see the texture is just so bad in spots, and there's these little like dimples. Did a couple tests on the deck lid because this is going to get covered. You can see that there's a few white dots when I sand it. So I'm worried that these white dots are gonna look weird if they're all over the car. Plus it's gonna cloud the candy a little bit. But I really don't think I have a choice. I don't think the clear is gonna be thick enough to bury all this texture. And then when I go to wet sand the clear, it's gonna probably leave white dimples anyway. So I really think I just have to scuff the whole car up. Plus my gun got clogged, and that definitely made a couple parts a little more pale. With the gun getting clogged up, it kind of like sprayed in pulses, and that really messed up how this covered. I'm just really not happy with how this is going. So yeah, I think I just have to sand the entire car. Scuffing it up is going to let us get back to painting anyway, so I don't have to put any kind of adhesion promoter on it if I just scuff the car. I might throw a little bit on anyway, but it definitely needs a little more candy. I didn't want it to be too dark, but at this point I'd rather have it dark than look like crap. So yeah, hopefully I can save this. I know some people probably just watch my YouTube videos to watch me fail, so you're welcome, you bastards. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try to get this done. Gonna get started. I'm probably not even gonna time lapse this. I'm too nervous. This is about $1,000 worth of material just sitting on a car that I really care about. So yeah, we're gonna concentrate on this, and I will see you guys on the flip side. So the little nibs are gone, a little bit of haze and stuff. The paint needed to be scuffed up anyway for adhesion purposes. And we're gonna put adhesion promoter on all this anyway. We're gonna spray a couple coats of that on. That should make the next coats of candy stick pretty well. I probably could have got it super smooth, but I really don't want to take the color out of it. I don't want to burn through too much. If anything, this was too much, really. I probably shouldn't have went that hard. All those little nibs are out. I almost think that they were pieces of flake that somehow floated up, because when I was wiping the car down, there was a couple like flakes on my hand. So I almost think the little nibs were pieces of flake. But a lot of the textures, just because I sprayed the candy carrier like I would have the inner coat, which was kind of light. I should have really laid it on thick. We're gonna do the adhesive promoter and spray that down, and then do the candy carrier, and hopefully this blends out a bit. And yeah. Okay, gonna go home and come back to this tomorrow or Friday or never. Who knows? I don't know. I'm tired. 10:51 on a Friday, and I had a very small nap. I was gonna wait till tomorrow to do this, but I gotta help Amanda with her car, and I gotta do some stuff too. Saturdays are kind of busy lately. This thing looks like crap under these lights. I'm still really second guessing on even moving forward with this. Hopefully the results are nice at the end of it. I really feel like I messed up by not doing that candy carrier heavy enough when I'm spraying. We're just gonna make a decision and keep moving. I had already wet sanded this thing with 1000 grit. We got some adhesion promoter, and we're gonna hope for the best. I didn't bring my DJI action cam, which means I'm not gonna time lapse a lot of this. We're just gonna do it. A lot of times me trying to film is killing my productivity, so we're just gonna go. Bye. I feel a bit better about the color. The overall color looks a lot better. I was gonna try to do one more coat. I feel like if I do one more, it's gonna look too dark. It's already really black in the secondary areas. If I would have been spraying this wet for 3 coats, it would have turned out a lot better. That's just me being a little naive and not knowing how to spray the product. But we're gonna go ahead and go to clear, and then try to get this thing done tonight. It's 1:37. We got a long way to go. I'm gonna do 3 coats of the Euro Clear. It's gonna take a while because it keeps getting cold in the garage. It's 60 right now, but it's probably 40 degrees outside, so it's gonna be a lot of like purging the garage and all that stuff. We're gonna go back to work now. It's been a long night. Letting the heater run a little bit before I leave. I'm gonna let it get up to like 70 degrees, and then I'm gonna go home. The sun's gonna be out. Maybe I'll get a breakfast sandwich from Wawa on the way home, because I'm actually really hungry. Just wanna put my car back together and drive. I've done a lot of cool stuff to this car and a lot of cool colors, but I really think that this one might be my new favorite. I haven't even seen the car in the sun yet since it got painted, and I know it's just gonna be really nice. I'm so excited to see this car out on track. It's really gonna be awesome. So some spots on the car are pretty shiny already. I'm definitely going to polish this out. And there was a little bit of dirt here and there. I already started wet sanding some spots. These were flakes that came off of the masking materials. Dried paint will flake off of your masking plastic. I really should have did all this in paper. But growing pains and learning pains and all that. Because I don't think the silver's coming out. So I got silver on my door, but whatever. I could have paid somebody $10,000 to do this candy purple, or I could have did it myself and just spent like, I don't know, I think it was like $1,200 in material. But even without the cut and buff, you can see it's pretty reflective in spots, especially the driver's side. I always spray a little bit heavier on the driver's side because I'm a little more confident, but this turned out really nice. Tamco makes some really nice clears. I didn't rush through this as much as I rushed through the Skyline job, and that's the probably the key to doing a nice paint job is don't rush it. I guess that's why paint guys take like 2 years to paint a car sometimes. Really, it's just your car's in paint jail and they're doing somewhere, but yeah, look at that reflection. Once I cut and buff this, I think it'll be really nice. Amanda bought me this really nice Milwaukee rotary. I know rotaries are pretty aggressive, but I really feel like I needed a rotary. So thank you, Amanda. I love you. And thank you for giving me my birthday present early, because now I can start doing this over the weekend after I let you borrow my Skyline again. But anyway, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's a very vibrant color. Besides the dirt, I'm a little worried about the hood a little bit. I think that it might wind up being a little spotty, just because this hood is so damn weirdly shaped. I know it's going to be a little pale here because if I sprayed heavy here, it's going to leave blotches this way. The same thing with the center of the vents, and then the center of the hood, just because I had the car jacked up and it was a little tall. I think I double striped the center of the hood just a little bit. I overlapped like maybe once or twice, which was a mistake. You don't want to do that with candy, obviously, but whatever. Again, learning. This wasn't a $10,000 paint job, but this is going to really pop. I have a good feeling. This is the first time in a long time that I've been really excited to see my car. I feel like once the headlights are back in and the front lip and this thing's on the ground and on track, it's really going to pop, I think. Originally, I wanted this color to be a little more pink than what it is. It's really hard to find what this color looked like online. A lot of the pictures that I found were taken with potato phones and stuff. It's a lot more purple in person than I thought, but whatever. It gives me an excuse to do pink on the Skyline or some other car maybe at some point. But this is going to be the color for at least 2 years, so we're just going to run with this. This is a drift car. Drift cars do drift car stuff, you know? That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe and all that. I'm pretty excited to see this thing completely back together. I'm going to repaint the deck lid panel and the side mirrors and some other stuff and the flares. It's going to look really cool. And I might even put some other goodies on the car in the very near future. Maybe some stuff from my friends at Type S. Use my promo code Raybon10 at checkout to save 10%. And maybe we'll do some new wheels. I don't know. I know we need new tires, but new wheels would be cool on this. Maybe I already have them. Anyway, stay tuned for all that, and I will see you guys soon.